Now, once you're getting it closer to tempo, I want to talk about a few places where you can breathe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play it through, actually at performance tempo, but I'm going to stop at points where I think it's a good place to take a breath. And what I want you to do is get your music out, get a pencil, and mark in these possible breaths. Right there, between the G and the C, I take a breath. Breathe. Breathe after the D flat before the F. Now, if you can't make all of these breaths, you may need to add some earlier breaths, and that's okay, as long as the breaths, and this goes for all the breaths, not just in this piece, but in all music that you play, as long as the breaths are in tempo, so you're not adding an extra beat in order to take that breath. As long as they fit into the music and they're not noticeable, you can just keep breathing and breathing. So I'm going to go on now with some more breaths to mark. If you need to, you can breathe here. Breathe here and make it an expressive breath. Breathe here if you need to, but I'd prefer you didn't. Breathe here. Breathe. 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 Now, here's another trick to help you get to that low C in the second line. When you play the F that comes right before the C, you want to pick up your pinky. So play your F without this pinky down and get it ready, moved over to play the low C. Here's my F. My pinky's ready to play C. That will make it a lot easier than trying to slide it back and forth between those two notes. Now let's talk a little bit about the rhythm in line 4, where you have the triplets. So what we've had up until here is steady 16th notes. And for 16th notes, I like to say watermelon. Watermelon, 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 watermelon. So I have that going through my head. And then when I get to the triplets, a lot of people just say triplet, but I like to say hamburger. So what I'm doing is there's a shift that takes place here from watermelon to hamburger. Watermelon, 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 hamburger, 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 watermelon, watermelon. So make sure you feel the stretch on those hamburgers. It's not hamburger. They're not rushed. And it's also not hamburger, because that would be 1/8 to 16ths. Hamburger, hamburger. That's not correct. And it's also not hamburger, hamburger, because that would be 2/16ths and 1/8. A true triplet has 3 equal parts. Hamburger, hamburger, hamburger. So you need to feel that rhythmic shift. Now, if you're having trouble in the 6th line, going from the high A flat to the F flat, which F flat is the same fingering as E, if you're having trouble with that note cracking, make sure you pick up this pinky on the F flat. So you're going to use the same fingering for E, but without the pinky. And that is actually a frequent way to finger the high E fingering, especially if you're coming from a high A or high A flat because those E's like to crack a little bit, and this will help avoid cracking on that nose. Without the pinky. With the pinky, see, it just wants to crack. So pick up that pinky.